Hey fellow Schneider compadres, Friendly Bill coming at you. This is going to be a quick video. A subscriber, a commenter asked me to kind of go over some of the tough things, the hard things, the bad things, the obstacles that we overcome every day as truck drivers. And I'm going to make a quick video about that. I'm not going to go into great detail because as you fellow Schneider drivers know, the things that we overcome on a daily basis are just about infinite, whether it's equipment related or customer related or Schneider related or personal related or any of those things. You never know what you're going to encounter on a daily basis, and it is rare that everything works out perfectly. It is rare that you get your assignment, you show up, they're ready for you, they load you quickly, you get out of there, you drive, there's no traffic, there's no construction, there's no snow, there's no obstacles. You get to the receiver, they're waiting for you, you unload, and you shut down for the day and you get paid. Those days are rare, and when you have one of those days, you should really appreciate it, and I appreciate it. And if one of those days happens to me, I'm like, wow, where did that come from? That was an easy day. So the first obstacle you're going to encounter is equipment related. And the reason I'm starting here is because before you even start your day, you're going to do a pre-trip. You're going to look at everything on the truck and trailer to make sure it's safe to operate. And the reason I'm starting here is because, like I said, before you can even start the engine, before you can even move to do anything, you have to look at your equipment. And equipment, as you become more familiar with the truck, you'll get better at spotting issues before they become serious problems. You also become aware of what things need to be addressed immediately and what things can be addressed when you get to an OC. So equipment, that is a big obstacle. So you're going to do your pre-trip, and when you find out, let's say you hear an air leak, or a worn tire, or a headlight that's out, or a mud flap that's bent, or anything, okay? All of these have different degrees of severity on whether they need to be fixed immediately or if they can be fixed later on. So equipment is one obstacle. Another obstacle is going to be the customer. Oftentimes the customer is really busy. You may have to wait in line to even get to the customer. You have to deal with the guard shack. Hopefully they give you the correct information. You go to the shipping office. Hopefully they have all of their ducks in order. You give them your shipment, your master bill of lading number. Hopefully it matches up with what they have. Hopefully they're ready for you. Some of these places make appointments and have no plan on keeping those appointments. So the customers can be a big obstacle, and that's just the nature of the business. There's no easy answer. You just hope for the best, and if there's a big issue, that's why when I get to a customer, there's a few things I do. Okay, I've been doing this for 4.5 years, but I still do these things. When I get to a customer, and whether it's the guard shack or the shipping office, unless I have been there many times, I always tell them the same thing. I say, hey, it's my first time here. Any help that you can give me is greatly appreciated. So what that does is that gives them an opportunity to be like, oh, okay, this guy, he's not acting like a jerk. He really wants help, and that will allow them to offer information. So, hey, it's my first time here. Any help you can give me is greatly appreciated. And they're like, oh, okay, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your empty trailer, you're going to park it over here, then you're going to walk to the shipping office, you're going to talk to them. It's the second window on the right. You're going to talk to them, you're going to give them this number, and then they're going to send you and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now I know exactly what to expect. So that's what I do personally, and it has served me very well. Even if I have been to a customer a few times, sometimes I still do that because operations change. Maybe they've changed their system, or maybe there's more useful information that they can give me that will help me operate this whole interaction smoothly. Okay, another obstacle is overloaded trailers. Whether they are completely overweight, meaning that they are they make your truck over 80,000 pounds, which means no matter how you scale it, it is not going to scale properly. Or if it's a situation where you are setting your tandems at a certain distance. Now, California has to be set at the 40-foot mark. Some states are 41, some are 43, some don't have any regulations whatsoever. So you have to be aware of the states you're going through, not only your destination, but any state that you are going through. Even if it's a tiny corner, if there's a weigh station there, they can ding you for that. So overweight trailers, I've had I'd say over 4.5 years, I'd say maybe 8 trailers that could not be scaled. And when you have an overweight trailer, you have to send a form message in, and it's going to ask you a bunch of information about where your tandems are set, they're going to want a copy of the scale ticket. They're going to want all this information. So overweight loads is another obstacle. Okay, traffic, construction, and weather. These are things that we cannot control as drivers. So construction, there's minor construction. Maybe it slows you down. Maybe it, 4 lanes go to 1 lane and you're going to sit in traffic for a long time. That's one obstacle. Sometimes a road is completely closed, and I've run into this a few times where your navigation system is telling you to take Interstate 5, from Phoenix to Los Angeles, and for some reason the entire interstate is closed. Maybe it's wildfires or who knows what it is, but the interstate is closed. Okay, now it's up to you to find an alternate route using maps, using your Rand McNally maps, using Google Maps, using maybe talking to other truck drivers, finding an alternate route. So there's construction, different levels of construction. There's weather. Weather's a big one. You're the captain of the ship. It's up to you to decide whether it's safe to drive or not. It's up to you to have winter gear, whether it's chains and straps and coats and food and kitty litter and all those things. It's up to you to have all those things. So weather, going over mountains, and then traffic. We can't control traffic. I have gone around traffic situations. But as long as you understand that maybe going around the traffic situation is actually going to save time, other than just staying in the traffic and going with traffic, that's another obstacle. Okay, another obstacle is bad drivers, but I don't think this is such a big obstacle. Bad drivers, 4-wheelers or cars, if you will, just driving poorly. To me, it doesn't really bother me. I just back away. Unless somebody causes an accident, that's out of your control. But that's personally, I drive so defensively and just so much like a grandpa that it's not really that big of an issue for me. But you will see bad driving, bad truck drivers tailgating. That's the big one. I see some truck drivers that are literally 1.5 feet off of the truck in front of them. But the other thing is DOT, police officers, especially in California. I feel like the DOT looks at truck drivers as a revenue source, and I have gotten tickets I got a speeding ticket. It was at a I call it a speed trap because it's a situation where it's a downhill situation where it goes from 55 to 40, and the cop is sitting right there at the 40 mark, and if you're not going 40 by the time you pass him, he'll give you a ticket. So DOT, police officers, tickets, equipment tickets, speeding tickets, overweight tickets, all kinds of tickets. That's another obstacle. So this is just a general video about general obstacles. And like I said, there's an infinite number of obstacles that I haven't mentioned that can happen. I can't go over everything, and I don't want to go over everything, so I don't feel like going over everything. So the biggest thing to understand is when you first start out, it can seem overwhelming. There's just so much stuff that you're expected to know and expected to do is just overwhelming, and it's really hard. But as you get experience, you learn. The biggest thing is that the experience teaches you to avoid problems. Experience doesn't teach you how to defeat these problems, because most of this stuff is out of your control. The experience will teach you how to avoid them in the first place. So I hope this addresses some information that some of y'all been asking. Like I said, I've never said truck driving isn't easy. It's a difficult job, but with experience you can manage it. And my goal is to make about 1,500 gross, maybe 1,600 gross a week. That's my goal. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. But I've been at this for 4.5 years. So if you want to make that type of money in the long run, trucking could be for you. If you want to make that money your first 6 months, you're going to have a rude awakening, because you're not going to make it that quickly. So if you're into it for the long term, you can be successful. If you're in it to try to make a huge amount your first year and then get out, I think you're going to be disappointed.